welcome back to my channel. My name is Zay, and today we are going to go through a 10-minute daily hip mobility routine. It will involve some pelvis mobility, hip rotation, just enough to squeeze in 10 minutes if you feel like you're short on time and you just need to mobilize the hips. All you will need for class is at least one yoga block. If you don't have yoga blocks, just get a pillow or I would say a pillow or whatever you can use in place of a yoga block. You'll also need a wall or furniture, a chair, something that is stable that will help support you in a half kneeling position. So let's go ahead and get to it. The first thing we are going to do is a kneeling hip car. So your right knee shin bone is going to be on the block, and if you don't have a block, I would just get whatever you have to replace the block. You'll hold on to your support, whether that be a wall or a chair, something that is sturdy. What I don't want is this to become a balancing exercise. So if you are having trouble just thinking about balance the whole time, get something that's a little bit more stable or just stand up. But for recording purposes, I'm going to be kneeling so that I'm in the frame completely. Okay, so as you're setting up in your kneeling position, you just want to check in, make sure that your pelvis is not dumped forward. Also that your pelvis is not jutting forward like this, but everything is stacked. Your rib cage, your pelvis, a little bit of a tuck if that makes you feel the glute. If you're questioning if you are in the right position, you should almost feel a stretch in the front of your right quad hip flexor area. If you're having trouble feeling that stretch, take your pelvis and posteriorly tuck it. So almost curl your pelvis underneath you here until you feel some length or stretch in the front side of the hip. Okay, so we have 3 hip cars. You're going to hold onto your base of support. Squeeze your abs. Go ahead and take that left leg into hip flexion. You're going to abduct it, taking it out to the side. Keep your hips, headlight, belly button straight forward. Find a little bit of internal rotation as it rotates into hip extension, the back space. Pull the knee forward just enough to reverse. Press it back. You should feel your glute and hamstring. Do not, I repeat, do not use your low back to find hip extension. Knee rotates out to the side, and then we continue to rotate it forward, lower down. That's 1. Here we go. Exhale, lift. Opening, rotating. You have to stabilize your pelvis. This requires effort. Pull the knee forward. Squeeze the lower abs. Rotate the knee out, and then continue to take it forward, lower down. Last one here. Keep in mind that we are trying to isolate this thigh bone moving in our hip socket. We are not trying to take the pelvis with us. Should feel like you're going to have a hamstring cramp back there. Pressing it back, rotating the hip forward, lower down. Okay, so now we're going to switch legs. I'm going to just use my stick for support and pray that I don't fall over. So here we go. Finding your base of support here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to fall over. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold my wall like so. Haha. Go ahead and take that hip into flexion. I really have to use my abs now. Opening it out to the side. Rotating it in. Taking that leg behind you. Pull the knee forward. Find your hip extension. Booty hamstring. Rotate that thigh bone out. And then take it back forward. You do not have to have this crazy looking setup like I do. This is just what I have to record this video so you guys can see me. But please make sure you're fully supported. Make sure you feel a squeeze on every angle. These are not just sling your leg in a loose circle rotations. These are controlled articular rotations. So really articulate all of the movements here and stabilize that pelvis. I believe this was our last one. Nice. So just make sure you've done 3 full rotations on the right and the left if I miscounted. Okay, so we've knocked out our hip cars. We are going to come onto the floor for some pelvis mobility now. Pelvis is one of the key ingredients to healthy functional hips. It literally makes up half of your hip, which is this big chunky hip bone here. So we're going to do pelvic rotations. I'm going to show in 2 different facings. The first one is going to be straight ahead, and then I'm going to turn to the side just so you get different viewpoints. But your right leg is going to be bent, and then your left leg is going to come out straight. So if I turn sideways, you're pretty much like this. And you are going to be moving your pelvis, which I am grabbing right now, on your thigh bone, which is your femur. All you're going to do is rotate your pelvis out so that the belly button is facing the opposite way. You can keep your hands on the ground, and then you're going to rotate your pelvis in so that the belly button is kind of pulling towards the inner thigh muscle. So I'm actively pressing this knee down into my mat to rotate my pelvis open and rotate my pelvis closed. If you can see, my foot is still on the ground. You can elevate that foot off of the ground and just let it go along for the ride. But keep in mind, the main focus of what's moving is my pelvis. So don't get too wrapped up on where's my toe go, what do my hands do. Just focus on rotating your pelvis on your thigh bone. When you go in, you're squeezing this inner thigh growing muscle. And then when you go out, you're trying to squeeze this right glute. Also, when you go in this way, you're lengthening the glutes. We're trying to put it on stretch, and then we contract, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We're going to change our angle just a little bit. So you're going to shift into the back space, almost kind of bringing your hip to your heel, and we'll do the same thing. I find it way easier to just leave your foot on the ground, or you're going to be playing a strength balance game here. But this is the same exercise. I am just rotating my pelvis on my femur. You should start to feel your right hip get a little bit fatigued now at this point because it's been lengthening and contracting on the right side. Good. And then if you can go back a little bit more here, you can do the same thing. Opening and closing. Remember, this is not about the spine, so I am not just twisting my spine or shoulders right to left. I am rotating my pelvis right to left. One more. Open and squeeze. Whew. So if you did that well and correctly, right hip should feel a little tired. Okay. So I'm going to do the other side. Right leg extended long, left leg is bent. If you need support underneath your knee, get you some support, get you a blanket, pillow, whatever you need. Okay, here we go. Pelvis is opening up to the opposite side of the wall. I'm also thinking of squeezing my left booty cheek, and then I reverse. I'm trying to put now the left cheek on stretch, pulling my belly button towards my inner thigh. Reverse, squeezing the left cheek, opening the pelvis, and then rotating the pelvis in. Good. 2 more. Open, squeeze the left glute. You can put your foot on the ground here. Either one is fine. Whatever helps you feel more stable and supported. And then close. So now I'm going to just change the angle. This just brings me into a little bit more hip flexion to do the same exercise. I do recommend keeping the foot on the ground since it will just make this easier and you're not trying to hover and hold yourself above ground. I'm just pivoting and rotating on my foot, the right foot, squeezing inner thigh as I rotate in, squeezing my outer hip as I rotate out. One more, squeeze it in. And if you cannot go to this next angle that I'm about to do, bringing your hip close to your heel, then just go back to an angle that feels better for you. Just a few here. You'll notice that you will have less range of motion in this more closed angle here if you are able to access. And once again, I'm just rotating my pelvis. My left hip is on fire. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Yes, so that left glute should be feeling like it did something. Okay, last exercise is going to be just a fun movement pathway to kind of combine all of the hip movements. I'm using strength and control. So what you're going to do, also keep your blocks around you. You can use those for support whenever you need it during this. Right leg is going to be forward, left leg is going to be back. So this is our 90-90 position. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. I'm going to show the first few reps with blocks, just so you know how to use them if you do need support. But you're going to do a hip extension. I'm going to press my leg into the floor to lift my hips up, squeeze my glutes, and you can move the blocks wherever you need them. You can hold onto them to descend with control. You need to control your joints. From there, this back leg is going to lift up. I'm going to rotate my thigh bone and then straighten the leg out. Yes. Right leg, stay with me, is going to lift and then rotate. You're going to press it back. Use your hip extension. Press it back, 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 back. My pole is in the way and my nose is itching because I have allergies. So back leg is then going to slide up, and then now we're on to the next side. So if you need those blocks, use them as you need. Just hold on to them. I'm going to put mine over here because I don't need my blocks. Squeeze your core, press those hips through the floor, lift. Lower down with control. Do not just plop your tush onto the ground in one piece. This back leg is going to rotate and then extend, lower down. Left leg is going to rotate. I'm going to press it behind me, almost like I'm trying to split my legs open. Good. And then you'll just slide it in. And then we have 2 more on each side. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze the glute, hip extensors. Lower down with all of that control. Externally rotate that hip. Lower it down with control. Back leg, right leg is going to rotate. I'm going to press this back like a donkey kick. Lower down. And then bring it forward. Bring that leg in. Here we go. Lift. Squeeze that glute. Lower down with control. We're going to make this one just a little bit more challenging. So you're going to rotate that hip. Open it, open it, open it. Come to your butterfly. Ooh, same leg you were just moving. Right leg. Lift it up. Straighten it out. Back leg. Grab your support if you need it. Rotate that leg. Press it into the back. Push, 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 push. Exhale, lift it. The back leg. Bring it on in. front leg, we're not going to just slide it in, but we're going to lift it, bend it, and then lower down. Whew. So those are isometric movement pathways. Those are a great way to just gauge how much strength and control you have within your flexibility. Thank you guys again for your support. If you enjoyed this video or have comments, requests, I love to hear them. And then I will see you on the next video.